Alrighty, folks, this is another Mikey Live program, folks. There's a lot happening at this hour in the Caribbean. Grenada is no exception. We have a lot happening in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Currently, the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders, they're having a meeting there as we speak. An announcement made just about 10 minutes or so ago that St. Vincent and the Grenadines have recorded their first coronavirus case. It was a woman who traveled to a meeting in England and returned on the 7th of this month. Showed absolutely no symptoms according to the Ministry of Health there. She started exhibiting symptoms as of yesterday. So some tests were sent. The tests came back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it was determined that the woman in question, I believe in her 30s, in her early 30s, did in fact contract the coronavirus somewhere within her travel. It's a fluid situation happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines now. The health ministry there, they're receiving questions from journalists in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A lot of questions. And of course, I'm sorry that we had to come to go off that press conference to come here to give you the news. There's a lot happening. Also, there's some development at the St. George's University campus. I think that they're asking some of the students to return home. We're going to get more information on that. I received that information like 2 minutes ago, man. All right, and I'm going to see if I can get more on that and share it with you in a moment. Global, it's now coronavirus a pandemic. Means that now the world should start preparations in the event that there's an outbreak in their respective countries. Yeah, wow, it's crazy, man. Just in the last hour, so many islands and countries, with coronavirus developments. All those investigations had to be interrupted because, as I said, we have to come on the program to speak with you about what's making the news tonight. Anyway, let us officially welcome everyone to tonight's program. Those of you who are always on the program, I'd like to say hello to you. And those of you who are here for the first time, we would like to say thank you for just joining us, all right? As part of our customary requests, we ask if you can please share the program. You see, when you share the program, that's how other people get to know that we are live. Coming to you live from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean, this is Mikey Live. More headlines for you. World Health Organization declares the coronavirus outbreak a global pandemic. We'll explain that to you later on. NASA has sent out a statement on the body that was discovered at the Granitan Lake, and they say that the water is okay for consumption. All right, body of Andy Jones found floating at the lake. All right, he went missing on Monday. So, folks, we have that and more to tell you about on tonight's Mikey Live program. We'd like to let you know that the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Digicel and Nawasa. You see, when we come back, it could be real news in Olilili Lolo. So brace all yourself. Again, this is a request to you to please share the program.
We enjoy the luxury of a We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
Grenada is the place to be June 5th to 7th for the highly anticipated Grenada Music Festival 2020, featuring two-time Grammy Award winners Kool and the Gang, Coco T, Romaine Virgo, Marcia Griffiths, Arturo Tappan, Crossfire, Nadia Batson, Was Ways, Vaughn, and the Dancehall Emperor, Chavo Ranks. 3 nights of amazing music, great food, and pure Grenada hospitality. Grenada Music Festival 2020, June 5th to 7th, Quarantine Park, Grenada. Tickets available online at gotofet.com. Book your flights at hotel today. This ad is sponsored by the Grenada Tourism Authority.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Why not stay in, turn off the alarm clock, and sleep some more on your perfect mattress from Quartz? For the widest range of mattresses from the world's best brands, the best value guaranteed. Shop today and let our sleep experts help you to decide on the best option to suit your needs. At Quartz, we don't just sell mattresses, we're offering you the best night's sleep. So, sleep in a little on your new mattress from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Brannan, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
The ad's done already? Wow, that was quick. That escalated quickly. So I was going through one of the correspondence that I received regarding the St. George's University, and I would share that with you in a moment. But before we go there, let's take a look at some of the other stories that we have for you. Now, folks, the Ministry of Health met with the GHTA stakeholders to discuss the COVID-19 strategies. And that's the first thing that we need to tell you about. Folks, please forgive me if you see from time to time I am going to my phone because I'm awaiting some confirmation on some other issues, all right? So just forgive me if you see me doing that. You know, it happens once in a while, you know. I mean, no watch, no face, all right? Okay. So, the Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Health, Caribbean Health and Tourism Association, and the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association met with stakeholders to discuss COVID-19 strategies as it relates to the tourism industry. Now, the meeting was held on Friday at the Cricket Stadium in the Media Level 2 room, and it included members of the hotels and restaurants, marinas, and banks and staff. All right. Now, the GHT president, no, it was the chairman, yes, the chairperson of the GHTA, Mrs. Brenda Hood, all right, and they had a lot of, anyway, you know, a lot of high-level individuals. They were all part of this, all right, to discuss the corona and the COVID-19 and their strategies for going further. All right, they shared also regional resources and so on, which you can go. Now, by the way, the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association say that you can check out their website, and they would have links and so on to content, to resources. All right, online resources to the latest press releases and travel guidance information. All right, and also access to CAFA, Caribbean Public Health Association Tourism Information Health System, and so on. All right, they say it was a very comprehensive meeting, and they're just putting out this to let you guys know that them and their partners will continue to keep on the ball as it relates to the coronavirus and the tourism industry. All right, good. So the last time the Canadian people were here to do biometrics and so on, and some people did not get the opportunity for one reason or the next. But here's what we got: good news. The government of Canada, in partnership with the government of Grenada, they say that they are pleased to announce that the Canadian officials will be back in Grenada on Monday 23rd and Tuesday 24th of March, and that is to carry out biometric processing for persons wishing to obtain visas. Now, as part of the visa application process, Grenadian nationals must provide biometric information, which is fingerprints and photos, when applying for a Canadian visitor visa, study, work or temporary residence permit or for permanent residence. Now, during the upcoming March dates, Grenadian visa applicants may take the opportunity to provide biometric information in Grenada rather than traveling abroad, saving you $2. And then with the COVID, you know, right. So if you are planning to travel to Canada for study, business, tourism, family, reunions, or other reasons, please complete your online visa applications as soon as possible in order to take advantage of the opportunity in March. Now, Canada, they say, is pleased that officials will be able to travel to meet applicants on site in March, and it hopes that this ease convenience will be fully taken advantage of. Outside of this, visa standard procedures remain for Grenadian nationals to travel to biometric collection points in Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or Trinidad and Tobago at all other times. All right, this exercise is geared towards the following individuals: Grenadians who anticipate travel to Canada, 2, persons who have already applied online for a visa, work or study permit for permanent residence and have received their biometric instructions letter, and 3, nationals of all other biometric information required countries residing in Grenada planning to travel to Canada. In order, the text, I reading the story and the questioning me about the story. Jalo! In order to book an appointment for biometric collection, please write to bdgtn@international.gc.ca referring the biometrics instruction letter number, date of birth and country of residence. Officials will not be collecting applications or biometric information from applicants who do not have a valid biometric instruction letter. All applicants will be required to bring their valid biometrics instruction letter and passport with them in order to have their biometrics taken. The biometrics collection will take place on March 23rd and 24th, 2020. Time and location to be confirmed upon scheduling. This time, the last time I paid, listen, believe it or not, the last time I went on the website, I paid me money for my biometric business, and I'm so busy, I couldn't get a few minutes, seriously, to do all the final bits and pieces so that I could go do the stuff. So then people get me money for free. So this time I'll go and do it, because here's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to meeting my Canadian people. Yes, all the viewers from Canada, we have a strong Canadian base. Listen, I want to meet you guys. Yeah, so I'm going to do it again. Yes, and let's hope when I pay them my money, I have time to go and do my business. All right, good. So all you, that was song bad, right? All you, we're moving on. So here's the next thing that we need to tell all you about, boy. The body of Mr. Andy Jones was discovered floating this morning with a bag on his back and a trousers. His body was found between 10 and 11 today. You understand? The scene was a very, very grim one. Police were there, and the undertaker, they had the body on the ground and so on, and they were doing their final bits of investigation. Folks, this one had. You understand? This one had.
439. 439 10.
Take your time with me, man. You know, I don't know what to say. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people who has been talking about this, and you know why and why and why. I guess we would never know. You know what I mean? I guess we would never know. His family was asking for persons to stop spreading things, stop saying things. You know, one of his family members was saying, you know what? He went with all the answers. Yeah. So no speculation. He went with all the answers and give them some time. You understand? To grieve and so on. Yeah, boy. Anyway, today the his workplace. You know, they sent out a little thing on their social media page. McIntyre Brothers, they are saying that it is with great sadness we announce the passing of Andrew Jones, also known as Jonesy. You know, as a further confirmation of his death. You know, it has not, we have not seen or heard anything like this before. He was a worker at McIntyre Brothers. They say he took the company's vehicle sometime after 9 o'clock. They say he was looking a little dismissive when he came to work, but he took the company after a meeting there in south of the island. He took the company vehicle and went up to St. Andrew. That was when he drove the vehicle into the lake. They say people saw him there and thought he was in distress, so went to rescue him. But instead, he evaded them, swimming deeper into the lake. And then eventually, he was nowhere to be found. You understand? And so the search started. And just before the search team started diving again today, his body surfaced. Yeah? In other words, his body floated. You know? Now, folks, NAWASA also spoke on this because there were also concerns about the suitability of the water for drinking, given that there was to some extent a decomposing body in the water. Now NAWASA is saying they understand your concerns, but don't worry. You understand? It says that the National Water and Sewage Authority is assuring the general public of the safety of its water supply from its Annandale water system, despite the discovery of a body at the Grand Etan Lake on Wednesday, March 11, 2020. NAWASA assures the population that there are sufficient natural and internal interventions in its supply system between the source and the delivery to customers to guarantee the water supply is 100% safe for consumption, even with such discovery. You understand? They say that the water from the Grand Etan Lake is used periodically to augment the supply to the Annandale water system when necessary during periods of significant shortfall. Providing further details about the interventions that guarantee the safety of the water for consumption. NAWASA notes that the water abstracted from the Grand Etan Lake is pumped to a nearby stream. This supply goes through the natural process of stream flow, such as irrigation, before entering the Annandale Dam. Now, subsequently, it flows by gravity feed to the treatment plant, where it undergoes pre-chlorination, sedimentation, and filtration. They go on to say that the water supply is then stored post-chlorination prior to distribution. So based on the outlined natural and company instituted interventions, NAWASA is confident that its water supply from its Annandale water system is guaranteed safe for public consumption. And they say that they are working closely with the ministry and so on. The company's position is endorsed by the Ministry of Health, which has worked in close collaboration with NAWASA's technical team to validate the rationale for the public assurance. All right. So, all right. Now, earlier, the next thing that I have to tell you, I've just received a correspondence from a source. All right, and they say that this is a correspondence from the St. George's University, and it speaks a lot. But we will just summarize, or we will just take just a little piece. Dear Grenada campus students, we have been closely following the global outbreaks of the coronavirus and considering the implications it may have on our campus and community in Grenada. The safety and well-being of our students, faculty and staff are paramount to us, and we have been working diligently with the Ministry of Health, Grenada and our international partners to consider every contingency that will allow us to limit exposure to the disease among members of our community. It says that with that in mind, the SGU has made the decision to encourage all students on the Grenada campus to return home for at least the next 4 weeks. The Grenada campus will remain open and operating, and the facilities will be available for those students who are not able to or choose not to leave the island. This announcement does not apply to the 3rd and 4th year School of Medicine clinical students who will continue their education in the United States, UK, and Canada, or 4th year School of Veterinary Medicine students doing clinical work at affiliated institutions. This also does not apply to students in the Global Scholar Program in the UK. It says that while at this time there are no confirmed COVID-19 cases in Grenada, our goal is to make prudent decisions that reflect our commitment to your ongoing safety and that of the people of Grenada. You see that we are planning to continue your classes through online distance learning as a supplement to your current educational program, and we will update you shortly about our plans. And that's just an excerpt from the correspondence sent to the students and so on, possibly the faculty of the St. George's University. So they are, and that was my suggestion. If I was in charge of this country, I would take off my political hat and think about the greater good for the greater amount of people. I shut the ish down only at peak time. I was suggesting shutting down our ports of entry on Monday coming for 3 weeks. All right? For just 3 weeks while we set our wheels in motion as an independent state with a plan in mind. Yes, I know the tourism sector and blah, blah, the sec. We are thinking about that. But here's what. If or when we receive our first case, the effects will probably be quadrupled. What we are trying to avoid now, we will still have to face it. So here's what my plan is. Let us do the necessary only at the peak time, which is, I believe, it will be from Monday and it will last for 3 weeks. Then we open back our ports and then we reinstitute all the screening measures and so on that we are currently doing. You see, because here's what's going to happen. While we try to prevent all the tourism downfalls and this downfall, this, when it comes here, what's going to be happening locally is going to put a dent on our economy even more than what tourism would ever be able to do for us. Yeah? So let's put ourselves in that little bubble for now. Protect ourselves just for now. Yeah? Let's take some pressure off the people, the backs of the Grenadians a bit. That's what I was going to do, but I'm not in charge. I think something SU is doing is kind of like the same thing, right? Peak time, make sure that the students are not here. Yeah? And then they can come back when that peak time is over. Basic. Anyway, lately that talk. We are moving on. So, earlier, the next thing that I'm about to tell you, boy, the World Health Organization, they have declared the coronavirus outbreak a global pandemic. And as they made the announcement today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines have also just made the announcement that they have recorded the very first case of the corona. A woman in her 30s, early 30s, traveled to England to a meeting, returned to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the 7th of March. No symptoms, asymptomatic. And then came down with a fever on the 10th, yesterday, with a little coughing. Send the test. Blah, blah, blah. Test come back today, 5 o'clock. Positive. Tested positive for the coronavirus. They say that now she's in isolation and she's doing well. They say her symptoms are very mild. So probably she was able to go through every check. I don't even know why we're checking still. I'm just saying. I don't know why people checking still. We're trying to fool ourselves. Why? Because we are learning now that all these people are passing the tests. The heat, the temperature test and all the other tests. That when we are looking for obvious symptoms, then people passing that with flying colors. But that is no indication that this is not a carrier of the coronavirus. Hell no. It creates a false sense of security. Okay, I'm good now. Let me go and hug up my family. Mwah, I miss you. You hug granny, well, poor granny now. That one, well, you know. And the little nephew, little this place smash up. You understand? Sometimes I wish I was in charge, you know. You have to be logical and take out all feelings, all emotions, and just decide, make a decision. People would like you for that. I want to call. Let me call you. Hold on. What's the permission number again? And tell him, man, watch. As of tomorrow, Grenada ports are closed until the end of March. And when we open it back, everybody getting free jab costume, anything all they want. We go incentivize the business. So people go want to come. You know what I mean? Anyway, lately that dog. So Guyana has also today confirmed its very first case of the corona just the same. A woman who was tested and eventually died, her test came back positive. And that is while the Caribbean leaders, CARICOM leaders, headed to Guyana to discuss the elections there. And we're gonna join our sister station, WP, Caribbean Update, for that story.
Guyana's President David Granger, along with senior members of his outgoing cabinet, were out in full force to receive the CARICOM leaders who were on a whirlwind 24-hour mission in the wake of the electoral confusion there. Trinidad's Prime Minister Keith Rowley, not originally named to go to Georgetown, was among the 4 leaders. While there were some handshakes and hugs, fists and elbow bumps were in order, given the current internationally promoted protocols in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Adding to the political drama in Georgetown was a public health scare after a woman admitted to a local hospital overnight with flu-like symptoms died suddenly.
A suspected case, and like in all instances, there are procedures that we follow.
For watchers from across the region, Guyana's political health was equally fragile. Current Chairman Barbados' Mia Motley, who leads the CARICOM mission, which includes Dr. Keith Mitchell of Grenada and Roosevelt Skerritt of Dominica. The leaders are largely expected to listen to the major political players in Guyana as well as electoral officials, though even before their arrival they were clear that the electoral rules should be followed for the final results to be valid. Their position got some validation late Wednesday when Chief Justice Roxanne George ruled that the returning officer for the country's largest electoral district, District 4, had breached the law in adding up of statements of polls and should return to the process, whether to start afresh or to continue where they left off. She ruled that the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM cannot declare the overall results until the returning officer complies with the law. That process, she said, must be restarted by 11 a.m. on Thursday. At this rate, it may not be entirely clear officially who won the March 2nd poll before weekend. CARICOM leaders are widely expected to caution the Guyanese leaders that a less than credible poll results will set back Guyana and tarnish the image of the region. I am Shamika McDonald with the Carib Update News Service.
Thank you very much, Shamika. I ain't lying, Shamika. You're hot. You're some good enough, Shamika. Telling me. Anyway, Olia, we are moving on. How we looking for time? All the shady program. Some of all the watch now. All the on the shady program. We tie up on. Olia, Jamaica's Health and Wellness Ministry is soliciting 100 nurses from Cuba since the announcement of the imported COVID-19 case. Now they have more than one case they're dealing with. So they're requesting of Cuba this to help man local intensive care units, which will be critical in treating most severe cases of the virus. You know? So it seemed like they'll get through and that the nurses will start to arrive. But at least, you know, they're looking towards a solution. Yeah? So they're asking for that help. I'm wondering what we go do here just now, boy. I'm telling all you. The Chief Medical Officer in St. Lucia. No, hold on, I ain't done with all yet. The Chief Medical Officer in St. Lucia is confirming that a St. Lucia nurse is under corona observation. You understand? So all I don't know. Let's hope that this one comes back negative.
Following information Tuesday evening, a nurse in her 30s currently attached to the Mental Wellness Center has been admitted to the Victoria Hospital after presenting flu-like symptoms. Sources say she arrived from vacation last week and had a travel history which includes New York and New Jersey. We sought clarification from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George.
We have put in quarantine a total of 11 persons. We presently have 2 persons under quarantine at this point, if my memory serves me right. And we do have another person that we have in isolation. She does not meet the case definition of a suspect case, but out of caution, we have decided to isolate her and test. So we have not recorded her as a suspect case, but just out of caution because of her travel history, the numbers of patients within those countries, it's not high enough for us to risk it as a high-risk area, so she meet the definition. But out of extreme caution, we have decided to isolate her and send a sample for testing.
Dr. Belmar confirms that the individual in question is a nurse, as initial reports indicated. The samples were sent on Wednesday. The Chief Medical Officer advised as well against discrimination and stigmatization.
For persons coming in and for persons with Asian descent. This is a small society. We know, a lot of us know each other. We come from small communities. We continue to get reports of stigma and discrimination to persons of this descent. Even within our community service, we had to stop one of our very important collaborations with the Japanese. The level of disregard and stigma that they were getting within the community, it was very embarrassing. And for a group that has worked with us very closely, it was very inconsiderate what was happening at a level of the community.
And fake news continues to dominate the social media and instant messaging landscape. A TUI flight at UNORA was temporarily grounded Tuesday night due to a health emergency. Immediate reports on social media indicated that there were numerous suspected COVID-19 cases on board.
I guess now because of the threat of COVID-19, everybody assumes that it's COVID-19 on board. We got the alert that there was a sick person. As per our regular protocol, In cases when there may be somebody sick on board, the Ministry of Health, to ensure that we reduce any level of transmission to any other agency, we ask for the plane to be grounded until we can confirm that it is safe for the passengers to go. So this was done as we do routinely. Our team did the review, and it was a complication of a chronic disease. It was not an infectious disease, so the reports of COVID-19 on the flight were all false. And the level of which this information went out was really unfortunate. So we need to be careful.
On Sunday, a fake webpage link began making its social media rounds indicating that St. Lucia had recorded its first COVID-19 case. The web address shared similarities with that of online outlet St. Lucia Times, which has publicly distanced itself from the malicious post. Miguel Favre, NBC Prime.
WHO has been...
Okay, and folks, just before we go further, Tom Hanks has just confirmed that he and his wife, Rita Wilson, have tested positive for the coronavirus. That's actor Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita, have both tested positive for the coronavirus. Today, the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus a global pandemic. We share this one with you.
This outbreak around the clock, and we're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic. Pandemic is not a word to use lightly or carelessly. It's a word that, if misused, can cause unreasonable fear or unjustified acceptance that the fight is over, leading to unnecessary suffering and death. Describing the situation as a pandemic does not change WHO's assessment of the threat posed by the virus. It doesn't change what WHO is doing, and it doesn't change what countries should do. We have never before seen a pandemic sparked by a coronavirus. This is the first pandemic caused by a coronavirus. And we have never before seen a pandemic that can be controlled at the same time. WHO has been in full response mode since we were notified of the first cases. And we have called every day for countries to take urgent and aggressive action. We have rung the alarm bell loud and clear.
All right. So, yeah, countries have to make aggressive decisions. And as a leader of your country, my interpretation of aggressive is that it justifies if I decide to say, okay, no more boats, no more airlines coming in. We're done with that. Anyway, leave that alone, eh? Okay, folks, there's something that I had to tell you. Okay, I think I could put it up on my screen right now. It's an opportunity for... Okay, folks, so we have this one for you, and this one is from the Grace Training and Certification Center. Registration is on right now, so register for upcoming courses starting September 2020. Early registration is up to 10% off for you, but it is a limited offer. Courses include, but it's not limited to, reception, marketing, management, payroll clerk, accounting clerk, business administration, human resource management, general office administration, administrative assistance, develop a new or existing business, graphic design, custom services, and customer service. All right, so customs services and customer service. You can contact Grace at 435-3318 or 403-6197. You can also email gracetrainingcenter@gmail.com. Their website is gtcsonline.org. All right, family members, what I want to do right now is to take a quick break, and when we return, we have the national report for you, and as well, we have the weather. We'll be back.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
Grenada is the place to be June 5th to 7th for the highly anticipated Grenada Music Festival 2020, featuring two-time Grammy Award winners Kool and the Gang, Coco T, Romaine Virgo, Marcia Griffiths, Arturo Tappan, Crossfire, Nadia Batson, Was Ways, Vaughn, and the Dancehall Emperor, Chavo Ranks. 3 nights of amazing music, great food, and pure Grenada hospitality. Grenada Music Festival 2020, June 5th to 7th, Quarantine Park, Grenada. Tickets available online at gotofet.com. Book your flights at hotel today. This ad is sponsored by the Grenada Tourism Authority.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Why not stay in? Turn off the alarm clock and sleep some more on your perfect mattress from Quartz. For the widest range of mattresses from the world's best brands, the best value guaranteed. Shop today and let our sleep experts help you to decide on the best option to suit your needs. At Quartz, we don't just sell mattresses, we're offering you the best night's sleep. So, sleep in a little on your new mattress from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Brannan, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
Alrighty, they say that they are Grenada's tent people. And before we go to the national report, I have to remind you of a game that is pending here in Grenada. So we see here that Grenada is going to be playing Martinique on the 25th of March 2020. Gates would open at 5 p.m. and game time is 6. Kiwani James Athletic Stadium is the venue. Our tickets are $20 and kids under 12 pay half price. The outlets are Chucky's Bar, Grenadian Optical, Max's Bar in Grenville, and online at gotofet.com. It is now time for the national report.
Carriacou puts plans in place to effectively tackle COVID-19. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, March 11th, 2020, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Carriacou is putting plans in place to deal with the novel coronavirus COVID-19, which was on Wednesday labeled a pandemic by the World Health Organization. During her first quarterly press briefing for the year, Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, Honorable Kendra Matthew and Stewart, said Carriacou is formulating a preparedness plan to ensure the safety and well-being of its residents. Minister Matthew Stewart said facilities in Carriacou have been retrofitted to accommodate isolation and quarantine units. Work has been done on facilities in Petite Martinique for the same purpose.
From since early January, even before the assessment risk were upgraded, we in Carriacou were able to identify facilities and buildings to be used for quarantine and for isolation purposes, should the need so arise. Immediately after those meetings, the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs effected the required repairs and renovations to the buildings and facilities that were identified, making them now fit and ready for the intended purpose.
She announced that surveillance has been heightened and all ports of entry except the Tyrrell Bay Marina has been closed.
We have worked and continue to work with the Immigration Department, Customs Department, Police, and the MPA to ensure that all requisite checks are done and that visitors coming in, whether via yachts or small craft, small vessels, are cleared in accordance with the proper procedure and practices. The police have also heightened their surveillance around possible points of entry, especially on the island of Petite Martinique. As it is currently now, the only point of entry in operation in Carriacou and Petite Martinique is at the Tyrrell Bay port. All other points of entry are closed.
The representative for the sister isle of Carriacou and Petite Martinique called on all residents to act responsibly, pay attention to credible news sources and the facts.
This concern must be tempered with reason, with good judgment, and of course with patience. Our emphasis should and must be on facts and not fear. As such, we are to listen to credible news sources and to the information that is being disseminated by government officials. These information or the sources of information are accurate and it presents the true state of affairs as it relates to Carriacou, Grenada, and Petite Martinique.
Frontline personnel in Carriacou were recently trained by representatives from the Ministry of Health. Health Minister says Grenada will not concern itself about one's purpose of travel, but will instead focus on his travel history. Honorable Nicholas Steele told members of the media on Tuesday that the island has recently turned away passengers on cruise ships and international flights and will continue to do so once their travel history is suspicious. This forms part of government's efforts to heighten its preparedness and strategic plan to keep the island free of COVID-19.
It matters not what people were coming here to do. It's whether they had a travel history from certain hotspots that we will turn them away based on their travel history. If we start digging deeper, there were 2,000 people or 3,000 people that we turned away yesterday on a cruise ship. Are we going to ask each one of them why they came here or what their intentions were or who they plan to speak to? Or are we simply going to assume because they were on a cruise ship they were all here purely to enjoy our beautiful country? If we turned away individuals which we have that came in on American Airlines or came in on British Airways and put them in quarantine, do we ask them why? It's the immigration officer's right to, but is that for the public dissemination, or is it more important that based on their travel history they were quarantined or they were turned away? And I still stick with that. It matters not, and I didn't ask, and I am not going to ask what you're coming here for. It's where you've been.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell said government has to be very practical and thorough when assessing the passengers on ship or plane. He said it is important to not turn away visitors based on the fear of the populace that the virus will be brought to our shores, but based on the facts of their travel history.
One has to be very careful. At the same time, you have all these vendors out there hungry and looking for a livelihood. And they were waiting. Some of them bought stuff for and spent a lot of money and invested in these people coming here. And so one has to be extremely careful if we don't overreact. Because I think a lot of time we might be acting out of fear only, without facts. And I suppose the Ministry of Health and the government as a whole has to act on facts. It must be facts-based, not fear-based. And that's what's happening now around the globe, where people are just fearful, and there might be a lot of hysteria, sometimes unnecessary. So, but you know, it's life and death, so you can't really tell people not to be frightened.
Continuing the news, the National Water and Sewage Authority, NWASA, is assuring the general public of the safety of its water supply from its Annandale water system, despite the discovery of a body at the Granitang Lake on Wednesday, March 11th. NWASA assures the population that there are sufficient natural and internal interventions in its supply system between the source and delivery to customers to guarantee the water supply is 100% safe for consumption, even with such discovery. NWASA explains that the Granitang Lake has a capacity of 60 million imperial gallons of water, and though it is utilized by the company as a source of raw water, the actual catchment area is a significant distance from the center of the lake. Water from the Granitang Lake is used to periodically to augment the supply of the Annandale water system when necessary during periods of significant shortfall. Providing further details about the interventions that guarantee the safety of the water for consumption, NWASA explains that the water abstracted from the Granitang Lake is pumped to a nearby stream, then goes through the natural process of stream flow. Subsequently, it flows by gravity feed to the treatment plant, where it undergoes pre-chlorination, sedimentation, and filtration. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Grenada's #1 track and field event is back. The Inter-Secondary School Championships is back at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. You must be there. Experience the intense rivalry between athletes of our secondary schools on the track and in the field. Blame yourself if you missed the first ever Republic Bank sponsored Intercall 2020. Blame yourself if you miss a day of exciting action on the track. Be there every day, day 1, 2, and 3. The 53rd Intercall Championships takes place on March 31st, April 1st, and 2nd, starting at 9 a.m. each day. Come, let's celebrate the inaugural Republic Bank Intercall. Come out families, come out past students, come out school-based supporters for the return of competition on the track and in the field, because Intercall is back.
Welcome back. OECS Director General Dr. Didicus Jules says there is need for a systemic transformation of the education sector in the Caribbean. He was the featured speaker at the 5th Annual Carol Bristol Distinguished Lecture Series at the Grenada Trade Center Annex on the topic, Children Go to School and Learn Well, Challenges with Education in the Caribbean. Dr. Jules explained that there are key strategic guidelines that must be implemented and enforced if Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean want positive results from the sector.
We have tinkered with education in an era that requires nothing less than its transformation. And while we have been tinkering, others have been innovating and leaving us less globally competitive and further behind.
He emphasized the need for more focus to be placed on early childhood development. Dr. Jules said a solid introduction to education at a tender age will forever be etched in the minds of the students.
Early childhood education gap. Early childhood is the big gaping hole in the system. The most important formative stage in the development of the human person is the 0 to 5, and in particular the 0 to 3 age band. It's actually called the critical period hypothesis. It has been demonstrated that the stimulation that occurs at this stage establishes the cognitive potential for life. And it is for this reason that if we are serious about human development in the region, we must make early childhood development a priority.
Transformation will occur when there is more teaching in classrooms than testing.
We need to spend less time on testing and more time on learning at all levels, but especially at elementary levels. From a policy perspective, the preoccupation with testing arises because we've seen the deficiencies but are applying the wrong solutions to the problem. So where we see problems, we give more testing rather than do more teaching to encourage more learning.
The Marabou Abattoir has been further equipped with health and safety material aimed at ensuring that workers' tasks are carried out more effectively and efficiently. We get more in this report from Karima Lewis.
The staff at the Marabou Abattoir were once again aided by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture, ICA, as they were the recipients of a number of protective equipment and products.
On behalf of our Director General of ICA, the Agricultural Health and Food Safety Program of the Institute, and our ECS representative based in St. Lucia, and not forgetting our ICA Grenada delegation, Minister, I would like to present this to you on behalf of ICA.
That was ICA's National Specialist, Derek Charles, making an official presentation to the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Yulin Bean Hosford. The handover took place on the grounds of the Marabou Abattoir recently. Minister Bean Hosford says, while ICA's donation comes as no surprise, she is still grateful for the gesture.
ICA is a true friend, as Dr. Cummins said, and ICA has been supporting Grenada for a long, long time. And since I came into the ministry, the amount of support we have had through training and other things, it's really, showing, ICA is showing its true spirit of friendship with Grenada. And we are delighted this morning to get all these things from ICA so that can help you to do your work better. First aid kits, specialized boots, because these boots, they seem to be much thicker because of the work that you have to do. It's not the ordinary boots, and we are happy to have these are things we don't just get ordinarily. So we are happy this morning, the coats and the gloves and all of the first aid kits, and so we are delighted and we are happy that we have received these things from ICA.
Officer with responsibility for the Marabou Abattoir, Acting Chief Veterinary and Livestock Officer Dr. Kimon Cummings, also expresses his gratitude towards ICA.
ICA is the definition of a true friend. Over the years, ICA has been supportive, very patient with us, with the ministry, and they've been collaborating. And we at the ministry would like to say thank you to ICA for the continuous support, and we're looking forward to working with you as we move forward with 2020 and beyond.
Mr. Charles notes that this donation, which comes on the heels of an occupational health and safety workshop held by ICA in 2019, emphasizes the importance of health and safety in the workplace.
You are the ones we are depending on, and we value the work that you do, and we value you as a person in what you do. And that's why we have purchased this equipment to ensure your safety in the workplace. Safety in the workplace is a very important thing for management of the Ministry of Agriculture and also for ICA.
As ICA continues with its assistance to the Ministry of Agriculture, Charles states that 2020 will be the year where a livestock strategy will be developed for the livestock sector. For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Karima Lewis.
That story just brought the curtains down on the national report for today, Wednesday, March 11th. Let's recap the top story. Carriacou puts plans in place to effectively tackle COVID-19. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Alrighty, and we continue, folks. It is now time for the weather. Partly cloudy conditions with a low chance of some brief isolated showers after midnight tonight. Winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. We expect the temperature to be within a range of 24.5 degrees Celsius tonight. And waves moderate 6 to 8 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory is in effect. And that's our weather for tonight. And before we run off, we want to say hello to the Kojo family. How are you doing? And the people out there in Carriacou. Select the Vibes, Camille, Kevin. We also have Suzette. What's going on, Suzette? Rhonda and Rona, Irma, and also Colette is with us as well. Rose and Mishi. And Anne, hey Anne, how are you doing? And we also have Wayne with us tonight. Big up Wayne, all right? And Kireen and Shireen, Charlene, and my mom, Lintona, Mariel, Mike, Zilon, and everyone, man. Blessings, all right? And Vintress and Rachel and Monica. I see Monica and Ezra on day too, you know. All right, big up Monica and everyone else, man. Just big up all yourself, all right? And don't panic. Just be reasonably and sufficiently concerned, but don't panic. All will be well, and I'll be here. I ain't getting no virus because I don't tell my, my people already. Once ting, I stay indoors so that I can bring the news to you. Y'all bring food, I bring news. You know what I mean? I have no reason to leave my house, if you know what I mean. Y'all can leave the food on the step. I will leave a glass of water for you, you know? Right. And a little tube of sanitizer. Yeah, I mean, and a little change for you to put back your gas. Yeah, well, you was saying a turning gorilla inside there. Nobody putting their hand on my face to trim me, no, nothing like that. Maybe I'll try to shave myself. Alright, so if you all see me in the next few weeks looking like with big hair, I mean, just know that it's because I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here to guarantee the news to you, to make sure that I'm in good health so that I can bring the news for you. Alright? Okay. So anyway, thank you guys, and don't forget to please share the program. Alright? If you have not yet done so, it's very simple. Just hit the share button on your Facebook page right there, and that's all that is required. Thanks again for your loyalty. Thanks again for watching, and we'll have another program for you tomorrow, God's willing. We're going to have some more updates for you with regards to what's taking place here in Grenada and the wider Caribbean. Do take care of yourselves and your family. Whatever it is that's troubling your mind, just remember that that too shall pass. Until then, when we come back here on Mikey Live, I am Mikey Hutchinson, wishing you God's blessings. Goodbye.